Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Gaffer and Gear. Today we're going to be looking at light modifiers for tube lights, for LED tube lights. So I'll just start off by explaining to people who are younger or newer to lighting what this product does. So you've got your LED tube lights, which are fantastic, but one of the problems you can have with LED tube lights is you don't have any control. The beam goes absolutely everywhere. Whereas if you're using one of these modifiers, so I'm going to take exactly the same branded tube. When you use one of these modifiers, it actually gives you control over your beam. So we've got shaping control over the unit. So that's what these modifiers are for. Now in this episode, we're going to be looking at different modifiers and quite a big price range. So we're going to be looking at Nanlite, which is the cheapest of all the units. We're going to take a look at Honeycrates, their product. We're going to take a look at Dop Choice. And we're even going to take a look at Kino Flo housings. Now the biggest difference between these units isn't actually the price point of them. It's how they cut the beams. Some of them you can adjust your beam angles. Some of them have very hard cuts on the edge of the beam and some of them have very soft cuts. So I think it really is going to come down to your preference as to which system is the best for you. All right, so before we go much further, a very big thank you to Dan at Technical Art Solutions because he supplied us with 3/4 of the stuff that we're looking at today. And it actually is a big deal because we're in COVID-19 lockdowns in Melbourne. We're in stage 4. So I can't actually travel outside of a 5-kilometre radius from where I live. So, you know, it's nice of him to send the gear to me instead of me having to go and get it. So I appreciate that. All right, let's start off. We'll look at cheap product first and then work our way up. Okay, so what we're going to look at first is the Nanlite product. Now, before we even pull that out, I want to mention something before I forget it. So it's made for the Nanlite tubes, of course. Now, the smaller tubes and the larger tubes are not 2 foot and 4 foot. So the illumination area is actually 60 centimetres. So if you're interested in using this product on another light, just measure your illumination area and make sure that that is no bigger than 60 centimetres. Okay, so just a little tip there. All right, so the Nanlite product comes in a little bag. So you get these connectors, so 2 of those, and you get 2 bits of fabric. So one of them is a set of barn doors, which is solid, and the other one is a crate. An egg crate. Okay, so basically straightforward there. Geez, I hate Velcro sometimes. Okay, now this looks a little bit complex to set up, but it actually is quite good. I was actually quite surprised by it. So with the Nanguan clamps, that's how they work. So close it down, and then you've got a locker that goes over the top, and you're done. So really straightforward. So how you set this up is put your tube into the clamp. So that's your first step, and then lock it on. Now, our apologies, we only have the 2 foot to show today because the guys at Tech Art sold out of 4 foot units. Now, there's multiple ways you can set this up. There's actually 3 ways you can set it up. So first off, we'll set it up with the doors, or with a set of barn doors. So you put this on top of your fabric. Okay, then it wraps around the hinges. And you can adjust the tension. Okay, so you can get quite a hard edge. And there you go, you've got a set of barn doors. Okay, so you can adjust your beam angle. Now this unit does have a gap in the back, so you can put clamps in. Okay, so let's have a look. Where are we? Let's go to 8. Next time I'll turn the tube on first. Okay, so there we go. So this is the tightest beam angle we can get. And see, it's a reasonably hard edge on it. Okay, and of course we can spread the beam angle out. Now we can add on to this if we want. We can keep these doors and then add the crate inside. Okay, so that's all done with Velcro. So you just got 3 Velcro pieces here that attach to the 3 Velcro pieces on the door. Do the same on the other side. And on the edge of your crate, you've got Velcro that just goes around. And there we go, we've now got the crate inside our doors. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So what this is going to do, this is going to stop the light spreading that way. Okay, so it's going to reduce your beam angle. So without the crate, you've got the light spreading that way, but you can control it that way. But with the crate, you're limiting the spread to the sides. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Now we'll get into the last setup you can do with it. So if you don't want the barn doors, you just want the crate, you can just mount the crate directly to the holder. Okay, so you can have it like that. Okay, so that might come in handy if you want a bigger area to grab onto with a clamp, or if you're hand holding it, that might be a better solution for you. So let's have a look at this. All right, so once again, this isn't 2 foot, it's 60 centimeters, so it's just a little bit shy of 2 foot. So check your illumination area if you're using a different tube. This one sells for about $70 US or 110 Australian, and the 4 foot version, or the 120 centimeter version to be more accurate, sells for about $90 US, which is about 130 Australian dollars. All right, so let's have a look at the next most expensive one, which is Honeycrates. So this will sell for about $190 US, which in Monopoly money is about $280 to $300. Now, the thing with the Honeycrates is they can make them to actually fit all of the popular brands. You can get a generic one, but they actually do make them to fit, which makes them faster to set up. Now, one thing I like about it is it packs down really thin, so it can store with your tubes quite well. But one criticism a lot of gaffers have had of these, according to the sales reps who are trying to sell them, is that they don't fold up like a snap grid. But I sort of don't understand the logic of that, because your tubes don't fold up. So you got a 4 foot tube, you might as well store it with a 4 foot modifier. The thing I do like about this is the bag and the construction. It actually feels quite solid. It feels the most solid of all the modifiers. Anyway, let's have a look. So this one's actually purpose made for the Titan tube here, or for the Astera tubes. And this stuff is definitely the fastest to set up. So it literally just unfolds like that. Pop your tube in, and the tube fits perfectly in. Okay, it fits perfectly to the edges, edge to edge, and Velcro's on. And we're done. So very, very fast to set up. Very, very fast to set up indeed. So let's just have a look at it. So you notice here it's got a very soft edge compared to the Nanlite, and a very, very circular beam edge. So it really comes down to your preferences. I just want to point out here, see how it fits perfectly to the tube? So that's why it's so quick to set up, because it's not generic, it's purpose made. Now, some other accessories you can get for this, which I can't show you today, is this roller bee, which is a piece of material that rolls over the front to reduce the size of your light source. And there's also this set of barn doors you can get, but it looks like they work to a fixed angle. Anyway, that's pretty much the Honeycrates. What's that? 190 US. Now let's have a look at the next most expensive. So this is Dop Choice, 210 US, which is about 315 to 320 Australian dollars. So you get the fancy bag. You get some backing material. So I'll just show you this very quickly. So this can go on the back or the front of the light of your modifier. So we'll go through that a bit later. And you also get the snap grid. And look, it wouldn't be Dop Choice unless it actually snapped. So there you go. Very fancy. Now, this is universal, so this is designed to fit pretty much every type of tube, which is why I'll be using a Nanlite because it's a little bit longer on each end with the controllers, so I just show that it fits. Now these units, they've got grooves, a groove down the center there, okay, so to fit the tube into. So we'll just stick the tube in. And then it's got like a Velcro sort of pulley strap, so it goes through through the connector, then you pull it back over and Velcro it down. Okay, so let's fire this up and take a look. All right, so at the moment it's open at the back, but we can seal that up if you want. Okay, so let's have a look at what it does. Let's have a look at its characteristics. Now it's got a very linear beam. It's very different to the Honeycrate. And it's got a very hard edge on the beam. All right, now if you want to, you can seal the back up. Now where that might come in handy is if you don't want any spill light coming out the back, if it's in shot, but you want to illuminate up this way, for example. Now if you want to, you can also take that, that Velcro strip and use that on the front of the unit. Okay, so you can reduce the size of the light source. For example. Okay, so that's the Dop Choice, so 210 US dollars, about 315 Australian dollars. All right, so the last thing we're going to look at is something that I use, and it is the most expensive option, and that is Kino Flo housing. So this sells for about 153 American dollars, or 230 Australian dollars. So that doesn't sound all that expensive, but then you've got to buy a mount. So a mount will cost you between 65 and 90 American dollars, depending on what brand you buy. Now, the big disadvantage with these is storing them. Even if you store them with a tube inside, it does take up a fair bit of space. But let's have a look at what it does. I'll just put a stand mount on. So as you can see, we've got a fair bit of control, and I can adjust my beam angle. So let's get the finest slit I can create. Now, this is a bit chunky, but it does have some advantages, and this is why I use these as well, is I can put it into a stand mount very easily, and I can swing it over the top of a set. I can also clip a diffusion to it. So it does offer me a bit of versatility that I can't get out of other things. It's just not that easy to store. All right, so that's 4 options there for you, and I think in terms of the difference between them, it really does come down to personal preference. So hopefully there's something in there for you. I'm Andrew Locke, take care, see you on the next episode of Gaffer and Gear. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.